Wow, beautiful day, huh? We're getting at the end. So, Mike, tuwich such a beautiful day to be alive, you know. And one of the things I wanted to do, of course, is thank President Paul, Dr. Brazilian, Greg, and the Colorado School of Mines staff. They're amazing, and all the students, if you're still here. It is truly incredible that you guys have reached your 150-year anniversary. Wow. As I came here, this is my first time on campus, truly incredible. As I was driving through, both me and my wife, we got on an Uber. We were getting here, and I seen a little rock formation, reminded me of Mesa Verde. So I knew that it was such a special place to be because of our ancestors. My wife is Southern Ute tribal member as well. And just acknowledging, wow, what an incredible place to be where our ancestors have once walked before. So I'm truly honored to be able to do that. And in our language, we give utmost respect for that daily breath. Is we say Muinam, is the creator of all things, is the ultimate energy. And so I am very humbled to be here, as this was our traditional hunting grounds. We came all the way up here and all the way down to Abiquiu, New Mexico, the Moach Capote people. My name is Shane Seibel. I'm the executive director of the Southern Ute Growth Fund, the business arm of the Southern Ute Indian Tribe, and the original Colorado residents. So we're so excited to be here. Now, I wanted to take this time. I know it's late in the afternoon, but it gives me great pleasure to do this, but also stand up, because acknowledgement and gratitude in our culture is of the utmost importance. To be grateful to live another day, to wake up and to take a couple deep breaths. So take a couple good deep breaths with me and acknowledge where you came from, your parents, your grandparents, those that have walked this earth before us. That is so paramount to who we are as Moach Capote people. So, all with me. Take a good deep breath. In through your mouth. Or out through your mouth. In through your nose one more time. And out through your mouth. Such a beautiful honor to be alive. So you can be seated. Thank you for that. So, I would not be here today without family, without my honey, Melanie. So please wave your hand. Wife of 32 years. We have 6 children, 12 grandchildren, 2 on the way, which is totally such a blessing. And so I'm here to talk a little bit about who we are and where we came from. And I loved the speakers before all today. Just reminding me, wow, the School of Mines talks about earth, energy, and environment. Pre-colonization as Ute people, that was life. That was everything. That was everything to be able to continue who we are as people. What the energy did for us, and I'll go into that a little bit throughout the presentation, but you can see our vast homeland. There was 7 bands of Utes. But as you can see, those 7 bands roamed a huge portion of Utah, New Mexico, Colorado. And in that, we had a relationship with the land. We knew that we wore the earth, the Mother Earth. And so the 6 major elements are within our earth. The other 3 are of stardust. We are a star people. That's our legends. We didn't have any written communication. All ours was orally. And so today, I honor that, knowing that that's who we are as mountain people. Little tidbit here of information. We were the last tribe in the lower 48 to be assimilated. Why? Because they couldn't catch us. We'd go down there and rough you up, then we'd go to the mountains and go hide out, because we had that connection as mountain people. And sooner or later, our chiefs recognized that we're all one. that we're all connected with the sun and with the earth and with Father Sky. We're all connected. That's what made things so paramount for the Moach Capote people. Our cultural traditions, who we are, we talked about that, being Moenam, understanding this great energy force that is within us. We still practice our Teguini, that's our thirsty stand, our bear dance. And it brings up emotions, of course, because it's who I am. It's what I love to be. Our reservation. Little did the federal government know that when they placed us on this reservation, that we had prolific natural gas formations underneath us. The Dakota, the Mesa Verde, the Fruitland Coal, and now the Mancos Shale. Little did they know that. But also, they wanted to kind of make it more difficult for us Moach Capote people, is they had an allotment act. So people came in and really took some of the best prime ground. So we have a checkerboard reservation. And what that means is it's complicated. You have surface ownership, you have mineral ownership, you have fee land, you have trust land, you have federal land. And so you have many reporting bodies that we had to really navigate to be where we're at today. So our reservation consists of 313,000 acres. There in our neck of the woods, we're in the most beautiful part of Colorado, I think, and that's outside of Durango. We have 7 rivers on our reservation. Beautiful, beautiful reservation, but it's still a reservation. Reservation life was a struggle. My parents and grandparents had to go through a tough period in their life, right? They were told what to wear, what to eat, how to cut their hair, how to wear their hair, how to be educated, and that was very traumatic. And so they passed that along to me and to my wife, our generation, but we navigated that. And so what this allowed us to do was understanding what we had underneath us, what Moenam provided for us, and we had to get good at it. And so as Moach Capote people, we understood we had to have those relationships and those experts. So one of the things that relationships are so important is, anybody hear how the Utes won Pagosa? Oh, yeah? Well, great. You haven't heard that story. It's an awesome story. So Pagosa, I asked my grandmother, my great-grandmother, back in the day. She was born in 1899, lived in a teepee. And I asked her, so Pagosa is a Ute word. What does it mean? Does it mean healing waters? She goes, we didn't have a word for healing. We were already healed. What Pagosa means is stinky waters. But we knew it carried a frequency and a vibration within that water to heal what ailed you. And us and the Navajos were always fighting over that. So the chiefs at the last said, all right, we're going to settle this once and for all. Navajos, the chief said, we're going to bring our legendary warrior. He was 6'4". He was a big old warrior. And the Utes, we were always known for our horsemanship, toughness, but we weren't very tall. And so we had a 5'10", not to mean anything on this, but he was a 5'10" white guy. And he came, and he was a retired lieutenant of the Army. And so he fought for us. And they stripped him down, and they gave him a knife, and they said, the winner takes Pagosa. Well, guess who won? We did. Why? A lot of my family, we'd have debates over that. Well, it's because we had his family over here at Knife Point. Well, no, it's because we had human relationships. He loved being with the Utes. He loved where he was at, and we showed him our ways of how to be and how to survive in the area that we were. So he fought for the death for us. So relationships are the key to moving forward. So one of the things that really helped us was what was underneath us. And we had to build relationships. We had to understand, well, we don't understand this game. What does this mean to have the Dakota Formation, the Mesa Verde Formation, to produce natural gas? We have coal. People want to come and mine our coal, but we don't understand that. So we extended our hand to get the experts to be able to come help us, teach us, and we'll teach you. So it was always that learn, teach model. But it all started with the questions to be solved, right? I heard that from the previous speaker talking about the private equity model. What are you trying to solve? And so I stand here today on a foundation built by our past leadership, past executive directors, past talent, that they wanted to solve 3 questions. And we'll get into that. But it is amazing the questions that they wanted to be solved. So, the mission and vision of the Southern Ute Growth Fund and the Southern Ute Indian Tribe is real simple. Our sovereignty is so important to us. We are a nation within a nation. We are a sovereign tribe, managing resources and protecting our culture as we serve our people now and into the future. That is paramount. That's our Southern Ute Indian Tribe. That is our mission. Our organization structure is really simple. The Southern Ute Tribal membership sits at the top. They elect our Southern Ute Tribal Council. And we have 4 distinct silos or buckets or groups within the Southern Ute Indian Tribe. We have our Sky Ute Casino, very small operation. We have our Permanent Fund, which is our government entity. We have our Growth Fund, which is our businesses. And we have our Southern Ute Shared Services, which is our IT group. So one of the things, I'll back up real quick, that with a plan that we had, the 3 questions to be solved, we knew that we had this passive revenue, that we were getting royalties and severance taxes based on the 1982 Supreme Court case that the Hickoryas had won. Because you had operators operating on the reservation that said, no double taxation. It's against the Constitution. Can't do that. Hickoryas said, BS. We can tax you again, royalties and a severance tax. They said, no. So they went all the way to the Supreme Court. Guess who won? Yes, the Hickoryas. And when they did that, our attorneys at that time wrote up our severance, our right-of-ways, and our royalties. So every operator operating on the reservation, we collected a passive revenue. That passive revenue has blossomed over time into about $3 billion. That really helped us as a tribal nation of only 1,400 members to then diversify, to then take control, our sovereignty, to then have direct involvement of what was happening on our reservation. So we're the first tribe in the nation to have a AAA credit rating. That's amazing, but it's a double-edged sword, right? You got to be able to walk the talk. So our path to successful economic development really relied on what Mawinum provided us under our reservation. We just had to get good at understanding how to extract that. So, the 3 questions to be solved. How do we diversify that passive revenue? Because everything has a peak and then a fall off. So we had to diversify. We also had to ask the question, how do we fund our government in perpetuity, forever? If we're getting this passive revenue, how do we fund it forever? And then lastly, the question to be solved was, how do we share in our equity? So if we do well and our businesses do well, but the tribal membership is sitting there, well, how do they become involved with equity? How do they gain equity? So I'm here today to say we succeeded. We've done that. Now we're on our next set of questions to be solved. So it takes team. Can't speak enough about the team that we assemble. We have about 326 employees. We're the largest employer in La Plata County with over 1,400 employees, tribe-wide. The Growth Fund, we operate over 15 states, but it starts with talent. And so we recruited talent to come work for us. Right now, our operating director is Miss Courtney Hadrick. She is a true engineer. And so I'm in an engineer land here. And we call them blues. We have associated colors with how we can communicate with each other. I'm a red. I'm the total, basically opposite. Don't give me a stack of data. I'm not an engineer. I just condense all that stack of information into a paragraph and get to your ask. But then when I communicate with Courtney, she wants to know data. So having talent is so important. And then, of course, our finance director, Mr. Owens, he is a wonderful, simplified term, bean counter. He's a scorekeeper. He keeps track of money coming in, money going out. So, Southern Ute Growth Fund, you know, our vision really is to be the best business in Indian country. Indian country is worldwide. And we want to be disciplined, high-performing, and profitable with an emphasis on the people and earth in which we serve. That's everything to us. That's our mission as being Ute people, knowing that we are connected to this earth, we are connected to the sky and to this sun. It gives us life. So what is our relationship with that? So one of the things that we talked about was the 3 questions to be solved. The financial plan. Ingenious that the Utes at that time, you know, I was just a very small kid, they were asking these questions. And then they reached out to the team that they had to come back with options. How do we solve these things? So everything starts with a plan. You got to have a plan. We are the first tribe to really separate government and business. Because if you operate a government like a business, it's going to fail. If you operate a business like a government, it's going to fail. So they had the foresight to be able to say, we need to separate them. They need to have different sets of talent. They need to have a different scorecard. And that's just been ingenious. So when other native tribes come and say, well, how'd you Utes do it? Well, we separated the two, you know, after we figured out what we're trying to solve. They went, oh, my goodness. How in the heck do you do that? Well, it was tough because a lot of the membership didn't understand that. So I had to go up and always come up with analogies. As I was the first growth fund, one of the first growth fund employees. There was 7 of us. And so part of my job was talking to the membership. And so I used an analogy. And so are there any Cleveland Brown fans in here? Oh, shoot, sorry. I'll be picking on you a little bit because I'm a Bronco fan. If you want to be successful at whatever you're doing, you have to get the talent needed, right? You have to get the coach. You got to get the quarterback. You got to spend the money to be competitive out in the workforce. So everybody's competing for talent. You don't want to be the Cleveland Browns. You want to be the New England Patriots. You want to be the Broncos. You want to be able to spend the money to attract the talent. I know. But I got to pick on the Browns a little bit. So that was very foreign to our membership. They were like, what? You're going to pay an engineer, for example, the city of Durango, he makes $60,000 or she makes $60,000. You're saying now we've got to pay a petroleum engineer $200,000 to start out? Whoa, something is happening here. So that was part of my job, was then to come up with analogies to say, talent, we needed the white lieutenant to fight and win Pagosa for us because of that relationship, because we honored the talent that he had. So, very ingenious. My relatives that have walked this before me have built an amazing foundation in which to build upon. So as they separated the government and the business and made the growth fund. You know, the vision was really pretty simple. Diversify all the passive revenues. Get into direct investments on the reservation because we want to take it from cradle to grave. We want to be able to take the molecules out of the ground, be responsible for it, work with the government, work with all the various landowners and jurisdictions, and extract what comes from the earth, because everything comes from the earth. Everything. And how you go about taking it and then full cycle to the grave, putting it back the way you got it. Who better to do that than us? Because we can't go anywhere. As Southern Utes, if we're the ones responsible for the EMP and the midstream, and then closing it out on a P&A, who better to do that than us ourselves? So we had a growth fund implementation plan, and that was so paramount to where we're successful today, that separation. But it also allowed our elected officials to then keep an arm's distance away from managing the day-to-day operations. So when you're a politician or you're elected official, you do that job, but allow us to manage the day-to-day operations, establish policies, approve budgets, and set compensation. Those are important aspects to being a nation within a nation, because it's very hard to do within the tribal setup the way it was set up for us. Bless you. Our organization, you know, pretty simple. Courtney Hadrick, she's our operating director. So Red Willow is our oldest company. We started that back in 1992 on the reservation, understanding that we wanted to be able to be a great EMP producer. I was one of the first lease operators within Red Willow, had the opportunity to learn the trade, learn from the field experience of how to go about extracting molecules from the earth. Red Cedar was our most amazing investment on the reservation because it was a monopoly. It just was. Some people go, oh, what? You can't do that? Well, yeah, we did it. Red Cedar, so everybody producing natural gas on the reservation, guess where it was treated? Through us. You know, we gave them a fair deal. We had competition off the reservation, but if you're producing energy molecules, you came through us so that we could treat it. So Red Cedar has been an amazing. Our partner is Kinder Morgan. Aka Energy is our energy transformation group. That is, we understand the consumers are demanding something different. So we'll go into a little bit about that. Department of Energy, that keeps track of all our right-of-ways, all of our severance and royalties. And then, of course, we have a properties group, which we have a real estate portfolio that expands across 16 states in the United States. And then our newest venture is Kava Equity Partners. We do have a nice private equity portfolio that has now matured, gotten past that 7 years, so we see a lot of cash coming in, and we're able to reinvest and continue to grow. So our portfolio today, we talked about that, about 326 employees, 15 states. We have offices here in Denver. We also have offices in Houston. We have partnerships out in the Gulf of Mexico that's done really well for us. So you can see our direct investment asset allocation. You know, we just got back into the Denver market. Anybody see the Alcott Apartments right there? Anybody? Yeah. If you want to rent a great place, come see us at Alcott. We have apartments ready. So it's right across from the stadium or Elitch's, right across the highway. It's a beautiful, beautiful asset. So we're quite proud to know that the foundation that our elders had provided for us, that we continue to build upon it and continue to move forward, because that's who we are as Ute people. So our journey continues. You know, one of the main things that we're always asked, and that I ask myself, is who am I? Why am I here? and where am I going? So as you relate that to your team, our chiefs back in the day, many people thought they were the men. But in Moach Kapote culture, it was the women. It was the women that were the chiefs. It was the women that led. It was the women that stood out. When we went to go fight and we had to fight, well, guess who was in the front line? Guess who was holding the shields? It was the women that held the shields. Who am I as you people? They held it because all the elders and the children and the men were behind them. And so the women knew who they were. They had this connection. They had this power. And so they stood there in the front lines. And when the enemy approached, they took their shields and they protected the family. Us men, we hid back and we stood up and we shot. So acknowledging who you are. Who are you? Why are you here? If you're going to school, you're a student, why are you here? Answer those questions, because those questions are always going to transform as you gain more and more knowledge. And then where are you going? And as a team and as a tribe, where are we going? We got some amazing opportunities that are ahead of us. Our latest venture within Aka, we have the second largest hemp gin facility in the world. And so we've seen that is God's plan, the hemp. We're not interested in CBD. We're not interested in letting that bud out, but we're interested in the textile market. We want to be able to take hemp and produce textiles. We want to be able to combine it with cotton. We want to be able to use hemp to revitalize our soils, so that when we P&A a well on our reservation, the feds have not let us do that yet, but we're taking on that fight as well too. So we are going places because we know who we are. We're connected to this earth and to Father Sky. We're connected to the Great Spirit. We know why we are here, to be thankful for every single breath that we get to breathe in here on this earth. And where are we going? We have a special place that we are going, but in that we are determined to take one foot in front of the other. So I challenge all of you, be appreciative. Be appreciative of the simple things of taking a breath. Be appreciative of Muinum inside of you. Be appreciative of your family. Be appreciative of the opportunities that are before you. Because as you people, as the original Coloradoans, we don't take that lightly. We are continuing to move forward, keeping all people involved and all in mind. So with that, I thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Brazilian, the staff of Mines, this beautiful campus. I'm just in awe to be right here walking where my ancestors walked before. So I say, tuich taweak. In our language, there's no goodbye. There's always until we meet again, because we will meet again. And so with that, thank you. Have a great day.